now your hosts for KLEAN Radio, Andrew and Judah.
Well, welcome back to KLEAN Radio. How are you doing, Judah?
I am great.
So we're going up. Last week we went up against Easter. This week we're going up against Bin Laden's death.
And yeah, I mean, how do you compete?
Anyway, we have a great show tonight.
Yes, we do. We have Prism Award winner.
Tony Dennison is back after winning his Prism Award, which is just great.
Yeah, it's amazing.
We have Dr. Ko here as well.
Dr.
From
Ko.
Yes, our favorite psychiatrist.
Yes, who you could ask anything to.
Right? It's just amazing. You ask him any question about anything, he seems to have an answer.
Or he says I don't know.
Which is so relieving.
Right, which is the greatest thing about...
Very refreshing.
Yeah.
Right? And then it's going to be exciting. So.
And then we have comedian Marty. I can't pronounce his last name. It sounds sort of French.
That's not really...
but he's got a great Boston accent, and he's very funny. So yeah.
He's a French Boston guy?
I don't know.
We'll have to ask him when he gets in here.
Yes.
It'll be our comic surprise for later.
Are you still texting?
I'm just dealing with Dr.
This is not riveting radio.
You know...
Anything new in addiction?
Anything new in addiction? Not really. It's been a slow week for addiction. We've had like just nothing groundbreaking.
Any new treatments?
Not this week.
So it's basically the same old treatment.
Same old treatment.
It's sort of like, you know, I'll never forget this. I was dating this girl years ago, and her father had in the house this manual of how to fix things. Right. You know, like cars, everything. But it was about cars, and at the end of everything, it kept on saying, but if you can't do it, call a mechanic. And it's sort of like, I think that's how addiction is. Like, you know, it's like, even with the lap band or any of these quick fix schemes, they always say, well, get therapy with it.
Right.
You know, and I feel like with addiction, it's always like, well, if this doesn't work, go to a 12-step meeting. You know, it's everything with the 12-step meeting.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, I think that it's different for everybody, and that you know, every client is different and every person is different, and you know, people have different approaches and different needs, and it's important that we stay flexible as treatment providers to talk with our clients and see what they're open to.
Well, how many people have you found? I mean, an honest, how many people have you found that have been able to stay sober without 12 steps, the 12-step groups, whether it be AA, NA?
A lot. You know, I mean, I don't have an exact number for you, but I don't think it's an absolute necessity.
I want to know their names.
I think a lot of people actually mistake drug abuse for drug addiction. And so the vast majority of people who are abusive of alcohol and drugs, for example, binge drinking in college, I think most people knew a lot of people that binge drinked in college, and some people would classify them as alcoholics, but most of them grow out of that behavior. So really they were actually just being, you know, abusive of of alcohol, and they weren't actually alcoholics. So there's some confusion between, you know, abusive behavior and then addiction.
Okay, you got to raise your energy.
Thanks, Judah.
And what were you saying about Palm Springs?
Palm Springs, yeah, my wife was out there, so she was performing at this great place called Azul last night. She did a stand-up show.
I heard she rocked.
She did. She killed them. It was actually kind of humbling for me. I was like, damn, I got to pick up my game because she's taken off. So
that's amazing.
Yeah, it's good for her though. You know, shows you what you can do when you get sober.
And in the studio with us now, we're joined by Prism Award winner Anthony John Dennison, with a big smile on his face.
Hello.
Hey, Tony.
You might want to talk into the microphone.
Oh, okay.
Judah's like directing everybody tonight. I think has something to do with his mother. It's got to be a mother issue. When Dr. Ko gets on here, we're going to ask him.
I got it a few weeks ago with Reef. I mean, you know,
right?
It just... our
last psychiatrist really kind of...
Yeah, used me as the crash test dummy.
Everything. Well, you're a good example for
I am
pathology.
A good example, a very good example. And again, we're in the studio with Prism Award winner. Where is the award?
Oh, it's home.
I wanted you to bring it.
Oh, yeah. So that I could show it to everybody on the radio?
Yeah, well, we do film the show.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
You can get a picture online. We'll post a picture online. Yeah.
How exciting was it?
It was great. It really was nice. It was Mike's not working?
No, you're just...
I was shocked at the number of people that were there. I didn't expect it to. You know, when it's in the Beverly.
Just raise it up a little bit.
When it was, when I was at the Beverly Hills, when you're at the Beverly Hills Hotel, hold on a second, folks. We're having some technical difficulties, which those of you following at home can see on your computer. But can we have tech support? Tech support.
We actually have tech support in the studio.
AM830's gone low budget.
We don't need to call another country to get tech support.
Sky, right?
There we go. That's better.
Tech
Just
support.
Or you could lower your chair.
Anyway, so it was the Beverly Hills Hotel in the the ballroom downstairs. So it was a really nice sized crowd, and I was honored along with some other people, and it's interesting because you get a chance to talk about your sobriety, because the episode of my series that I'm on, the closer, the episode that I got the award for was because my character in the beginning, who's portrayed as, I portray him as a sober member of AA. And I have to thank James Duff for that, because he didn't have to do it.
Who is James Duff?
The executive producer. Thank you. And so what happened was, in the beginning, I'm at an AA meeting and I'm talking to this guy, and you think that the guy is this poor schmuck who's just trying to get his life back together, and it turns out he's actually setting me up to be killed in the parking lot. And so I commented, I said the scene that followed, they show a clip, and I said, folks, the scene that follows this, I said, my character gets attacked by a guy with a knife, and I wind up killing him. I said, right after the meeting, and I said, and so you can imagine the 10th step I did on that one.
So it's actually a very accurate portrayal of what happens outside AA meetings.
Exactly, especially if you're a police officer,
yes.
Right, if you're a detective. And then, and then I talked about a lot of other things about, in fact, I'll talk about it now, which is really one of the things I just only recently realized, because I used to speak about these two things separately, and just put it together, that one of the cornerstones of my sobriety, and Judah will tell you this, is when I was able to say I don't know when I don't know something,
right?
And say follow it up with I don't know, what do you think, or I don't know, let me think about it, because what?
Honesty.
Yeah, right. Because prior to that, I would not ever let you think I didn't know something, because I was afraid that you would think I was stupid, dumb, or what. So I would just I would fight a fight with you, debate like a crazy man, right, to try to prove a point that I didn't even know. So in sobriety, I was able to let all that go, and then I realized that my mom and dad, who were, albeit they came as children, were Sicilians, from immigrants. And my dad once used to say to me all the time, he goes, Anthony, he goes, if you ever really need to know the answer to a question and it's bugging you, he goes, you got to ask. He said, because the embarrassment of asking is nowhere near the pain of not knowing. And I realized when I don't know something, it's okay to say, hey, I need your help. Right. I don't know, so what do you think? And I'd like to have the answer to this question if you have it. And sometimes some people don't have it. And some questions sometimes really can't be answered. But if you go out and you at least give it an effort, then you've tried, rather than sit there, because I'm thinking it's humiliating, when it's really just being humble. And humility is the state or the art of being teachable, I believe, anyway.
So, Tony, you're going to work with Judah on this, right?
It's kind of tough. Yeah,
kind of tough. I've been working
This
on
was
it.
actually his award speech. That was his acceptance speech.
There was just a portion of it where I was able to say that, they gave me an X amount of time to share. Right. And then I thanked everybody on the show, and
your agents.
And then I didn't thank my
and
agents.
your manager.
No, it's not like
God.
That. Yeah, I thank God. I think.
So the Prism Awards aren't like that, where you thank the Academy.
Sid Levine, that's my higher power. He's the uncle to Jesus.
Well, I'd like to welcome into the studio Dr. Coe, who arrived 10 minutes late. Is that a normal psychiatrist thing to do?
Wow.
And he's going to leave 5 minutes early.
Right.
Well, wait a minute. Before you speak, Dr. Coe, I must say that they gave you the most unbelievable build-up.
Wow.
I mean, that I thought to myself, my God, is this like going to be Young's nephew? Or,
wait, is that where you were going on with the thing with I don't know?
Or what's his name? Freud's stepchild or something. And so I know you have this pressure on you to really do well now, but I just want you to know that that's what they said.
Well, they're big fans of mine.
Clearly, clearly.
But they do build me up, but yeah.
It's just to break you down later, Doc. It's all for later on. It's all for the fall. He actually just moved here about 6 months ago from New Orleans.
Oh, New Orleans.
Yeah.
Gave up his practice.
Do you know Glenn Tafaro, who's the chief of police for Jefferson Parish?
No.
He's a nice guy.
He came after, who was it, Lee?
Harvey Lee.
Yeah, Lee. Harvey
Lee died. Yeah.
Lee
Oh, he died? I didn't realize
Well, he
that.
was sort of the assistant chief under Lee.
Yeah, Lee died on the job, as everyone knew he would. His health was
he was rather overweight.
Massive.
He enjoyed his po' boy.
He enjoyed his jambalaya.
No, I have to tell you, there's a restaurant in New Orleans called Drago's, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Grilled oysters.
The oysters with the barbecued oysters.
Grilled oysters. Yeah.
Well, they call them barbecue oysters. Yeah. Those things are ridiculous.
It's safe to say this segment we're not dealing with food addiction, by the way.
Right.
You know what I want to ask
For all
you,
those
Doc?
with an OA, just turn off the radio.
You know
right
what,
now.
Doc? You know what
We had your birthday? Or was
We
it-
had my birthday at Drago's, I think a couple years ago. Yeah.
No,
You know what I
just
want?
last year.
Oh, just last year.